Um, Pierre, Corbinais, and Christophe Galati will talk about their game Wednesdays, and it's one of the honorable mentions. And there's a trigger warning. They will talk about very serious topics, things about incest and abuse. And so, if you are sensitive to that, please make the necessary arrangements to deal with that. And they will talk about how, through making a game, they started to heal from that trauma. Yes.
It's coming.
It's loading.
Oh,
It's loading.
Do I have to press something to share, I guess?
Well.
Hi.
We don't have the slide yet on the screen.
Take your time. Take your time.
But I don't know if I should do something. I'm plugged.
Just take your time. I will.
Plugged enough. Okay, I wasn't plugged enough.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I want
Hi.
a round of applause. Take it away.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Pierre Corbinais. I'm a French game writer. I worked on several projects with different companies. I worked on a game about love. I worked on a game about sex. I worked on a game about being a Syrian refugee seeking asylum in Europe. I worked on a game about the loss of a child. And since I'm such a fun guy, I just directed and written a game about incest and child sexual abuse called Wednesdays.
And I'm Chris. I'm game director at Dinios Games. So I'm mostly known for making games paying tribute to retro past era of gaming. So my first game was Save Me Mr. Taco, which was a game who paid tribute to the Game Boy. And now I'm working on Taco no Imitsu, so the game sequel, who talk about Game Boy Advance. And my goal is to take these codes and aesthetic from the past to tell more modern and personal stories with them.
We'll try to show you a trailer of the game. We'll see if we have sounds. We do not have sound.
No.
We do not have sound for the moment, but I have a plan B, maybe. You hear that?
I am a survivor of incest. 20, 10, or even 5 years ago, I wouldn't have put it that way. There was a long journey to get to where I'm at today. Free, proud, and at peace. Wednesdays isn't a video game about incest per se. It doesn't address the starting point. It's about the journey. One day, a killer whale landed on my doorstep. You can't exactly ignore a whale. This one helped me look back on my memories. It helped me realize how deeply I had buried trauma and how far it reached. My family, my friends, my exes, they've always been there for me. Even though they didn't hear or see everything, they stuck around. They are the true heroes of Wednesdays. Flawed, imperfect heroes, sure, but what are you supposed to do? Wednesdays is meant to be colorful, kind, and filled with hope, sometimes even funny. I'm not saying it's not gonna make you cry. Honestly, you're probably gonna cry. But it will be good tears.
Trying to put that in full screen again, but I don't know how to do that, so we'll keep it that way. So yeah, I'm a survivor of incest. I've been sexually abused as a kid by an older cousin for years, regularly. And for maybe more than 20 years, I never talked about it. I didn't talk about it because I was fine. I was okay. I was doing all right. So why talk about it? But then in 2020, I realized that maybe I wasn't 100% okay, and also that maybe it wasn't being okay, even if I was totally okay, maybe it wasn't a good enough reason to not talk about it. Maybe on the opposite, it was a good enough reason to talk about it. So I made a video game, very small interactive fiction, textual video game, made in 2 days during a game jam, called my first video game, and it was already a game about incest and child sexual abuse. And I just put that on the internet without second thought.
And I'm also a survivor of incest. So yeah, in my case, I wasn't doing okay at all. So it was, for me, it lasted for like 10 years. It was my older brother, and so it was pretty common, like very often. And in my case, I started to talk about it publicly very early. Like I was 13 when I started to talk about it to my family. And like in most cases, my family didn't react. They didn't know how to handle that. So basically, it continued. So for me, the way of survival and escape was to start to create games, basically. At first, it was playing, escaping in virtual worlds and going to JRPG mainly, and escaping this reality. And then it started to create games and wanted to tell story instead of just escaping. And so I left. I got the dream of becoming a game creator, and I left my hometown, went to Paris to a game school, and started to do my life. For a while, it was fine to just run away from the trauma, but it was still haunting me somehow, and memories were still flashing, and it was like, yeah, I left, but the abuser is still around, and maybe he might be abusing other people. So at one point, I decided to go the justice route and try to get justice and press charge and really do a proper call-out this time instead of just talking to family. And basically, while I was waiting for my trial in 2020, I found the small game Pierre made. And, and so, yeah, I was like, oh, someone else is making a game about this subject, because I'm also doing it on my own. And I was like, yeah, I will reach it. We already worked together in the past on other small things, so we already knew each other. But yeah, I reached to Pierre on Twitter and said, oh, I played your game, and yeah, we have a lot of things to talk about.
And yeah, and so we started talking about other stuff than video game. And 3 years later, I sent this message to Chris. I will translate it, I will try. I'm nourishing the idea of making my own little game, maybe starting this summer. It would be about incest. We should talk about it when I would have gathered my thought, and Chris replied,
we definitely should.
And so, yeah, that's how Wednesdays, hard to say for a French guy, started. So how do we make a game about incest? Incest is very taboo. It's scary. It's kind of depressing. Like, nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, oh, I want to play a game about incest right now. So if we wanted people to play our game, we needed to make something different. Something bright, colorful, hopeful. Something that wouldn't be about the incest, something that wouldn't show any abuse or whatsoever, but that would be about the after, about growing up after that, about healing from that, about being okay maybe in the end. And we needed, of course, the first thing was to have the graphics to reflect that. So this is probably not what you would think of when thinking about a game about incest. So that was the first part of it.
Yeah, and we decided to work about memories because for most people who suffer this kind of traumas, we kind of lost memories about it, try to forget about what happened. And so just for that, we decided to make a game where we recollect memories to when we get, when we encounter, well, I read it because I lost myself. But yeah, we decided to articulate the game in 2 phases, one with a park and one with memories. And so when we put attraction in a park, we unlock new memories. And it's often something that happened. It happened to me when playing games, getting flashbacks of things that could happen to me in the past. And so we thought that would be a good way to emulate that feeling without making the player experience the memories directly, but to recollect them instead.
And yeah, so we have this part in the park, and we have the aforementioned memories. But this is a video game. And video game is about interaction, about choices, and about embodying a character regularly. So who should we play in those memories? Who should we be as a player? Should we play as Timothée, who is the main character and whose memory we're exploring? It would make sense. It's his memories after all. But it felt wrong. Because, as I said, video game is about interaction and choice. But what defines victims of incest is the lack of choice, the lack of consentment. And yeah, it didn't work. It would defy the point of the game. So we needed to play someone else. Who then? Should we play the abuser? That's not what I wanted to do. Maybe there's a game out there that could be made about this. That's clearly not the path I wanted to take. Maybe not too soon, I don't know. So who else? I looked around and found the answer. Everyone else. In Wednesdays, you don't play as Timothée, you play as the people around him all along his life. You play as his father, his grandmother, his school teacher, his childhood friends, his girlfriend, his childhood high school crush, etc., etc. And that way, you get to look at Timothée's story from different point of view, different lenses, and you get to ask yourself the questions, what would have I done in that situation? What could have I done? What could have I seen? How? What could have been different? And how? Yeah, that was the point of switching the point of view of the game.
And as those memories can be quite heavy for some of them, and because by being the surrounding of Timothée, you're really immersed in what you can tell to him, because usually people don't really know how to react when we brought up this subject. But just to give some room to player to reflect and just kind of relax between scene, we decided to add a lot of things in the kind of park, theme park aspect of the game. So that's why now we can talk to people, put decoration, find treasures, crabs, fish, ducks, and a lot of small interaction just to let you unwind and help you really take time to assimilate the story and what is being told. And we also decided to put a big emphasis on trigger warning because the subjects are tough and many people are not really prepared to that. And most of the time, people are scared to play the game, basically. So a lot of people are like, oh, it could be fun, but it's scary. We don't know if it's the right time to play it. But spoiler alert, it's never the right time to talk about this kind of subject. So we decided to do a lot of trigger warnings. So for each scene, you can see small trigger warning, detailed trigger warning. You can pause each scene. You can pass the scene. You are not forced to see anything. Basically, you have consent to everything in the game, and because of that, people really were really happy about that. It was something we were not used to, putting a lot of trigger warning, and for us at one point it was like, oh, we are spoiling the game, but in the end it was really, really helpful for a lot of players to be able to interact with the game and be more trusting us in the process, that we are not here to traumatize them with our stories, and basically show them how it is and make them learn about incest and how we live it.
But we still haven't talked about the elephant in the room. As the most observant of you might have already noticed, some characters in Wednesdays have cube heads, cube instead of heads. This is not innocent, of course. Of course, this has meaning. This is a bit spoilery of the game, but honestly, it's quite easy to figure it out. The cube heads are stigmat of incest, of child sexual abuse. Usually, the victims of incest or child sexual abuse usually are silent, invisible. We don't see them. But what if we could? What if we could see them? Like, there are, it's estimated that 10% of kids are victims of incest, not child sexual abuse, just incest. That's quite a lot. There's maybe 100 people in this audience that statistically there are at least probably 10 of you that have been victims of incest. What if we could see you? Of course we can't. In real life we can't. In real life all we can do is talk and listen. And this is also why we made this game. To give more opportunities to talk about this topic we don't often talk about. And it is working. Like, we're here on the stage of a video game festival talking to you about incest. So yeah, that's neat. That's working. It's not over.
Thank you. But yes, it was something that was very scary to do, basically as survivors as well. Like, if I can talk to me as a child, and it's something I dream about, being able to make a game about it for a long time, because as a survivor you always carry the weight of trying to help other people. And so it was really something we were happy to do, but also scared that how it will be perceived. And in the end, yeah, we are successful, I guess, in our mission, because we are receiving a lot of comment and people like telling us their stories and how the game can help them. So no matter the trauma you might have, you can make something with it that can help other people. So that was our goal, and now it's done, and we are pretty happy about it. And we hope like that more people can learn about it. And the step after that is like to help society evolve, because in the end, less than 1% of incest cases are judged in court. Like, most of the time, people don't talk about it. When they talk about it, the family try to silence them, like it was for me, basically. And then the justice, in the end, also don't do much. So it's a common effort, I guess, to try to make things evolve. And yeah, in my case, Wednesday was released 1 year after I won my trial against my abuser. So yeah, that's quite liberating, and hopefully we can help more people liberate their speech and talk about it. And it's already happening, so now we hope it will continue.
That's it for us. Thank you very much. The game is available to play up there in the slope. If you like it, you can still vote for it. And that's it for us. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
we didn't name them, but here you can see all the amazing people who worked on the game.
And some of them are in the room with us, so you can also applaud them for their really good work on the game. Do you have any question for us while we're here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm kind of curious about whether or not just creating the game itself helped each of you process your own kind of history and trauma, and what the experience of the actual creative process was like for you.
I can. Well, in my case, I was already speaking about it since a long time and already making games to kind of heal myself, and was waiting for the trial. So I was already pretty far in the process of healing, but it's kind of a cherry on top of going through the process and all the hardships about it. But yeah, seeing the impact, and now we are more free. Like I can be on the stage talking about it. I can talk about it in press and stuff like that. So it's liberating, and it's really what I try to survive for somehow to make something about it and help people. So it's liberating, and yeah, it's great.
And yeah, it's a bit the same for me. It clearly wasn't a therapeutical process or healing process for me. Like I had processed it already. I was healed already. I was fine already. I don't think I could have made the game if I was in a dark place. I needed to be in the right place to be able to make this bright game. So no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't therapeutical for me, but of course, it's liberating to have it released, and that's, as I said, it's cherry on top.
Yeah, and it's also help us to talk about it with our family as well. Like some family member played the game and saw things with a different perspective, and there is a lot of us in it. So of course, that always help.
Are there other questions?
Hello. First of all, thank you for telling your story and becoming that a game. I really appreciate when you have like this kind of diversity in stories and references. So thank you. And my question is about the part when you said that a game is about interaction and you had to choose a different people or different something to interact. Which was the process to separate yourself a little bit of this story, which is that personal, to find other people, other I don't know, like interactors?
Well, I'm a game writer, so I'm really used to writing voices for characters. Anyways. So no, it wasn't something difficult for me. It's something I'm used to do. Of course, some of the characters of the game are inspired by my own story, so that's something that helps. But it's I don't know. It's just fun to. That's why I like writing video game. It's fun to see where the conversation can go. Like I don't know where the conversation go when I start writing a dialogue, and then have a branching, and I see, oh, it can go that way or that way, that way, and I just explore stuff. So it comes pretty naturally. That's what I find fun in writing myself.
Yeah, and also we also discussed with together at first, because as we mentioned, the reaction to trauma is different with everybody. We didn't have the same path in life, even though we suffered the same kind of abuse. We reacted very differently, and we discussed with other people, and that's the thing we try to show in the games, that there are each victim is different, each trauma and how we experience it is different, and to show other perspectives like this. So yeah, there was one like mine, injustice, one just in discussion, one with just don't talk about it and move forward. And there are a lot more ways to survive trauma or not survive trauma, basically, as well. So that's also what helps to separate ourselves from it. It's to try to show as many perspectives as possible. We also reach to association to try to talk with them. And so yeah, we try to take from our life, but also from other people's life.
And to add on that, at first when writing the game, I planned to contact association of victims to talk with them, to hear more story and stuff. But I just started working on the game, and thus I started talking about incest around me. And I realized, okay, I won't need to find association of victims. Victims are all around among my friends, my family. I just need to talk about it to find these people and to make them play the game and discuss and stuff. So that I was going to say that was great. No, that wasn't. That's not really great. That was practical. I'm not sure if it's great, but yeah, that's how we managed to have this diversity of stories as well.
Thank you for making the game. It's really beautiful. I wanted to ask about when it came to distribute and market the game, were you worried about issues of censorship, whether on platforms or marketing platforms? I saw, for example, you were going to do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and that proved more difficult than expected. How did you navigate these issues?
One of the big issue we feared for the platform, as you mentioned, was Steam. Steam now accepts most game, and we never feared that our game wouldn't be accepted on Steam, but we feared the game would be 18 plus on Steam, and thus sorted with the porn games. And I love porn games, I made some too, but this is not a porn game, and I definitely don't want this game to be with the porn games. So that was a big fear. It turned out okay in the end, so good. Communication-wise, yeah, we feared. We had Arte, who was handling the communication, our publisher. So they did a lot in intern with the communication service and judicial service.
Lawyers.
To see what we could say, not say, how we should angle that. We had a disclaimer in the game to help with that too. And in the end, we didn't have any bad experience with the game. Everybody seemed to like it. There's this on Reddit. Yeah, it flopped every time I tried to market the game on Reddit. People were downvoting it by in mass. I'm not sure why. The EMA wasn't great, but it wasn't awful either. That was part of the game. Ask me anything, that's in the title, so go ahead, be a dick. I can handle that. I wish there were more dicks I could speak of. There were only a bunch of dicks. That was boring. I myself, when starting thinking of the game, didn't worry about that at all. We started worrying a bit in the end, but we just did everything we could to avoid the worst things, and we didn't have any trouble so far. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we live in a world of algorithm, and so some platforms, even just the word incest is deleted automatically by auto moderators. And we also, we were when we were making the game, we thought that some scene might be shocking, but in the end, that wasn't the ones that shocked most people. So depending on the country and the culture of the country, it's very different. In Europe, it was okay, basically, but we haven't reached much American outlets, for example. So it's something that's kind of bothering us, because incest is everywhere and not just in Europe. So yeah, depending on the country, people might play it or not. And we are also in a world of streamers. So streamers are like, there are words they cannot say. And so sometimes, some don't want to play it just because of the subject, but some are playing it. And so there are many reactions of people playing with the community, and it's opened a lot of discussions. So it's coming, I guess.
They are not being censored by Twitch or anything. Like, nobody care about our game, actually. So that's good.
Well, thank you.
This is it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your story, Pierre. Pierre and Christophe, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We